Welcome to the O Club in historic Gallagher-Iba Arena. Guess what? It's time for Cowboy football, and we always get jazzed up about that. I'm sitting here with the voice of the Cowboys, Dave Hunziker, and this is always a time we get excited, and I don't know about you, but it seems like the summer was shrunk up a little bit. I blame Josh Holliday and the Cowboys a little bit, but we'll take that every year. Now it's time to focus on football.
Yeah, there was a good reason for that. That nice run to the College World Series and the national semifinals for Josh and the guys is a wonderful run for them. But, you know, now it's back at it. It's a shortened camp a little bit because we start school here at the university on August the 15th. So camp's a little shorter, but they have a plan for that. And I don't imagine the players mind that too terribly much. But they've been working. It's changed so much, Larry. Now it's a year-long process. You know, it used to be you'd have the two-a-days, you'd have to clash heads all the time.
Right.
Nobody's in shape, and you didn't have year-long work the way we do now. It's different now, and I think it definitely impacts how practice is managed, and also, you know, the stress level over the fact that, you know, school starts August 15th. It's not a big deal like it would have been 15 years ago.
Am I right in thinking that Coach Gundy's been ahead of the curve a little bit on that? Not as much contact, let's save our bodies, and it's paid off for the Pokes in the past few seasons.
Well, all you have to do is look at what's happened in the NFL. I mean, they've followed suit. Other colleges have followed suit. You've seen the introduction of devices that monitor how much individuals are doing and how it impacts them, because there's so much hidden fatigue that you don't necessarily understand until you really pay attention to it. How many times does a receiver run down the field? Just in practice, running routes over and over again. Then you realize in October, because you're paying attention, whoa, I need to scale this guy back. He was on top of that, limiting contact, thud scrimmages, thud practices. He's always said, make sure the bodies are ready to play in games, save the hits for the games. They don't do us that much good in practice outside of making sure you're sound fundamentally in terms of your practice and blocking and such.
Of course, our fans want to know, how about the offensive line? You know, I think what a tremendous job Gundy and his staff did last year, and this team in coming together, winning 10 in a row. I mean, it was a crazy stretch. Things got tough in the last 3 games, but the question all season long was the offensive line. I asked Coach Gundy at the Cowboy Caravan in Oklahoma City the other night, what about the offensive line? He said, well, the good news is they're all back. They're a year older, a year bigger and stronger, and a year more experienced. But there's also some other guys that can help. So talk about the offensive line.
Well, competition helps. I mean, you know, even when you have everybody back, when you have competition, makes everybody else better. An example might be Victor Saleko. You know, last year he came from UAB. We're very excited to have him. Certainly needed him, and he played a key role. Now he's had a year to get used to playing at this level. There's a difference between Conference USA and the Big 12. His body is improved. He's continued to get better. Those are the types of things that you see. Then some of the junior college transfers we have coming in, some younger players that are evolving. There's good competition there, and I think chemistry matters. Having a unit together for extended periods of time makes a big difference, because there's a lot of cohesiveness. There has to be communication. So having offensive lines playing together, developing that chemistry, it makes a difference. So I'd like to think, you know, that year 2 with this group playing together, and who knows, maybe somebody sneaking in there and winning a starting spot, it will matter a lot.
I just saw Victor before we came on here on OKState.com, and he's looking bigger and stronger. Great guy, by the way. We're lucky to have him here in this program. Of course, the fans want to know about Barry J. Sanders. You got a guy, I'm glad he's here. It's kind of a great story. He went off, got a great education at Stanford. You look at some of his tape, and he's an exciting player, but he's got the name. He's back at Oklahoma State. He grew up an OSU fan. We're going to see a lot of his dad here. I've already talked to his dad. He's going to be at all the games, so that's going to be fun for our fans. But I think it's really cool that kind of one of our own, because he did grow up an OSU fan, is back here. He's going to wear the orange for his last season.
You know, I can remember 2002, if I remember this story correctly, and you may remember it, that he had begged his dad to come watch us play, and trying to work it out schedule-wise and make it happen. Well, they show up for Bedlam 02 here in Stillwater against Oklahoma. You might remember that. He really wanted to go. He wanted to watch Rashawn Woods. He wanted to watch Tatum Bell. He wanted to see Josh Fields, Kevin Williams. Oh, there's a lot of NFL guys I just rattled off, by the way, just for fun. So he comes, and they have a great time, obviously. Cowboys win big that day, and so that gives you an idea. I do remember that, and I think I've got the facts right on that because I remember the planning that sort of went into that happened as that game was approaching, that Barry would be coming with his son, who was really becoming a huge fan of the team, and now he's a part of the team. And I think we have to be careful and make sure we don't just instantaneously have expectations for him. He's obviously playing in a system that's a lot different than what he played in Stanford, much different from an offensive standpoint. Obviously, he's very smart, but just be cautious and let him get his feet in the water. We'll see what happens. As far as what I've seen up to this point, I think I want to wait till we get in pads to assess anybody. I'm always really hesitant to talk much about how guys are doing till we get into pads, and they have to carry those things around, and that's not to diminish what they've done up to this point, but I just like to be a little cautious, just to wait.
Well, and Barry J does have great hands, though. I've seen a little bit of that. So we look forward to him in the passing game. So he's going to be an asset there and add some depth for the Cowboys. Let's talk. Well, you mentioned 2002. That's the year the Sooners came in after we'd beaten them down there, right? And they weren't going to let it happen again. I think they were ranked number 4 again. One of my favorite stories there is they're at midfield for the coin toss, and they're tied in back there for OU. I can't think of his name, but you remember what I'm talking about? He says, "We'll take the ball." They win the toss. He said, "We'll take the ball and we'll score." Well, of course, you know how that first half went. Cowboys are up big, and we come out in the second half, and I believe we had an offensive lineman. Was it Jason Phillips? I may be getting the name wrong, but I'm just talking off the top of my head. Anyway, it was our ball, so he says, "I tell you what, we'll take the ball and we'll score again." And that's one of my favorite Bedlam stories and one of the greatest days. I took a picture of the scoreboard. We were up 35-6. Let's go ahead.
Well, and that was a win. 01 started it.
Yes.
02 legitimized it. Because you can make a compelling argument, and I do feel this way, and I would still say this today. At the end of 2002, that team played from mid-October to the end of the bowl game as well as any team I've seen here, including 2011. That team, I mean, again, when you start running down the NFL guys that were on that team, Josh Fields, of course, is Major League Baseball. You had Tatum Bell. You had Kevin Williams, LaWaylon Brown, Greg Richmond.
Kevin Williams just retired as a Viking, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, and Darren Williams is a freshman on that team. And on and on. Rashawn Woods, Billy Badgema, NFL guy after, a ton of NFL guys. So that legitimized it. That was a lot of fun. That's one of my all-time favorite days.
I agree with you. We're just reminiscing a little bit here on OSU Cowboy Football Media Days. Quickly, because I know you've got to run and do interviews. Let's talk about the other running backs in the stable. Chris Carson looks good. I think he was a motivated guy in the offseason, but talk about the rest of the stable.
I'm excited to see what Chris Carson does. From what I hear from people in the program talking to them during practice, he was extremely motivated in the non-conference, or in the offseason, I should say. So I think maybe we'll see something from him that we haven't seen before, because last year he was adjusting. So now he sort of understands, and I think he could deliver a little bit more maybe than people might expect.
How about Jeff Carr?
Jeff
Justice
Carr.
Hill.
Justice Hill is very exciting.
Booker T. Washington boy.
Yeah, and he's really impressed guys with what he's did in the workouts, in the strength and conditioning sessions, the running sessions in the summer. A guy that really has turned some eyes and caught people's attention, so he could be fun.
Before I let you go, another freshman's kind of making some noise early on. Coach Gundy's talked about him a little bit at the receiver position, Dylan Stoner.
And the thing about him, he's a bigger guy. He's 6 feet, 6'1". They've moved him inside, and we'll use him there. And so, just another really tough guy, and good hands, exciting guy to watch. And so, he'll be a fun one.
Dave, our fans love listening to you. 16 years now we're going into, right? As the voice of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. It's always fun to visit with you. Go get your work done, and thanks for joining me.
Sounds good.
All right, that's Dave Hunziker. You're going to hear a lot from him this year. Hopefully a lot of pistols firing. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk to some of our players. And first, we want you to see this first football practice video. Get you caught up a little bit on what happened with the Cowboys on day one. We'll be back with more of OSU Football Media Day right after this. To the OSU Athletic Center. We're here right next to Gallagher Ibe Arena in the O Club, and it's OSU Football Media Days. I know everybody's fired up about this. We're always ready for football. Some of us think football ought to be year-round, but probably these guys and the coaches aren't too sure about that. But we're talking right here with a part of maybe the most talented group on this team. Of course, I'm talking about the receivers corps. We got number 81, Juwan Seals here, and Juwan, just to ask you quickly, going into your senior year, does that blow your mind just a little bit?
Blows my mind how long I've been here and how we get to see all these freshmen come in, and with my class, me and Austin, to see us grow apart and to know this our last year with our coach here.
Boy, you look great. So the offseason must have gone well. Kevin Clintworth was telling me you're up at the 208, is that right? So
yes, sir.
As big as you've ever been, so you're going to break some tackles this year. How do you feel?
I feel great. You know, with Coach Glass, our conditioning level, he has pushed that in everyone that has been doing it. We have really been doing good during the offseason.
All right, tell me about the receiving corps. Of course, Marcel Aitman goes down to an injury. We're going to miss him for a few weeks. How does that affect guys like you and the rest of the corps?
Marcel, he was like a bigger brother to us, always pushing us and motivating us to do great things. But with me and Chris Lacey and all the rest of us, we're motivating each other to keep going on, and me and Chris have to step up in the spot to keep on going until Marcel gets back.
Absolutely. There's a lot of depth there, luckily.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was one position maybe we could take an injury, you're glad it's not a season-ending injury. We're going to get Marcel back, but it's probably the receiving corps. And there's some added depth. You mentioned welcoming these freshmen in, but talk about the kid out of Jinx. I've heard that he's pretty good. So let's talk about Dylan Stoner a little bit. What's your take on him initially here?
Dylan Stoner, he brings a lot of life to the receiving corps. We had Austin Hayes, and now we have him. He's a little fun guy, ready to know a lot of knowledge, and runs around and doesn't stop running.
All right, I like that. So talk about this offense and what you expect out of this team this year. We could always throw the ball.
Yes,
in the past, we've always been able to run the ball. We kind of struggled last year.
Yes,
talk about this offensive line and what your expectations are in the running game this year.
Offensive line has been great this offseason. With the conditioning Coach Glass has been doing it. Zach Crabtree has been pushing on the offensive line. Jesse Robinson, Mason has been doing great with them, and especially with the running backs. Chris Carson has been doing great. Randy Childs, Lil Jeff, and then we have Barry come along.
Yeah, I know we've only been 5 practices now, 4 or 5, and so you haven't seen a lot of Barry, but of course he's got the name, and he's a great guy. I've known him since he was a little kid. So what's your initial take on him? What have you seen in practice that you think is going to add to the depth of the running corps?
What I know so far, we do our own things. We don't get into each other unless team, but what I've seen so far, I'm very impressed, with him, Chris Carson, and the rest of the running back.
How about your quarterback, Mason Rudolph? And he's a guy, there's not too many guys that can throw the out route like Mason Rudolph. We're glad we've got a guy like him, but has he transformed into a stronger leader than maybe the last couple of years? I know he was a good leader, but you hope as guys get a little older, like you sitting here as a senior, that you're a stronger leader as well. But how about Mason's leadership?
Yes, he's very better, stronger leader. He's more vocal, tells us what he wants. He wants the best for us, always eager to get better on timings and route running, so he's been doing great with us.
How about the backup quarterbacks, guys that are sticking out to you a little bit?
Taylor Cornelius, Kewan Drake.
Yeah, Wood T?
Yeah, Wood T.
I'm still learning it too. I'm with you.
still learning it too, and John Colbert.
Yeah, so you feel good about those guys? God forbid, we don't want anything to happen to Mason, but
yeah.
You feel like those guys could come in and get the ball to you?
Oh, yes. With Mason, how great he is as a quarterback. He helps them along, and we have great backups as well.
All right, you get to go against the defense all the time. Of course, we haven't talked a lot of defense yet. We're getting ready to look at a video about the defense. So let's turn the tables a little bit because you go up against these guys. What do you think about this defense? What can we expect? What's kind of the lead position that you think is going to really lead the defensive side of the ball? Put you on the spot a little bit, I know.
I say our defensive line.
Okay.
Defensive line is very strong. We have Vincent Taylor, Jarrell Owens, Trey Carter, Cole Walter-Sheed. We have a couple of those guys. Our linebackers are great for us. We always been strong back there with Jordan Burton, Chad White there, especially the incoming corner like Lindsey Pippins, the transfer corner, Ashton Lampkin, and Ramon Richards.
Is it the team speed that makes this defense effective, you think?
Oh, yeah. So with our fast tempo, we keep them on their feet to get them in condition so they're always set and ready.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. Good luck this season. Stay healthy, and let's have a big season for you. Cowboys senior right there, Juwan Seals, and we wish you the best of luck. We're going to take you to a video, let you check out the defensive side of the ball a little bit, and then we'll come back with more interviews. Cowboy Football Media Day coming back right after this. All right.
Near side, picked off. Jordan Burton, great anticipation.
Pressure coming. Bogan shoots, gets set, fumbles the football. OSU to the end zone. Touchdown.
Hurd flushed, and down he goes. Vincent Taylor.
He steps up, he looks left, he's flushed, now he breaks free, now he's sacked, he'll take a seat.
Ramon Richards with an exclamation point.
Howard over the middle. That's intercepted. It's picked up by Devontae Averett.
Bogan shoots, will keep it. Makes a move, fumbles it again. It's recovered by Jordan Burton.
This could be the ball game if they can hold right here. Boykin running. Boykin.
No! It's fitting. The defense makes the biggest play of the night.
Up the middle, Warren hit, pushed backward, I don't know if he got it. Foley's chains tight, he didn't get it. The Cowboys stopped him.
Intercepted. Deep out, picked off. And that should seal the deal.
And another interception.
Welcome back to Cowboy Football Media Days. We're going to talk the kicking game a little bit, and we've got Cowboy Senior. I just had my mind blown because I was thinking he's a junior, and then I look, it's your senior year. Does that kind of amaze you? Has it flown by a little bit?
It definitely has gone way too fast. I feel like I just got here. I feel like I was just a freshman the other day.
Let's talk about your health. You've had a couple, and some of our fans may not know, but you've had a couple of hip injuries, and you fought through those, and even kicked injured at times. How's your health now? How are you feeling? Are you healthy going into your senior year?
I am. I just actually had my second hip surgery in March, and I'm pretty much on the back end of that pretty recently, but fall camp has gone well. I felt good. I've been kicking the ball well, and probably the best I've felt this year so far.
All right. A key for your success is our deep snapper. Talk about what the deep snappings look like so far. I know it's early in camp, but
right.
What do we got there?
We got two guys that are new. Sam's been here, Sam Walking Stick. He was here last year, but he hasn't played yet. And then Tanner Morgan, he's a freshman that's coming to camp. And as of right now, Sam's been working with me mainly, and he's done a really good job for us so far. And we're still kind of trying to get in our rhythm. It's
Sure.
early, and I got a new holder. Zach Siner's holding for me right now.
That was going to be my next question. So Zach Siner.
So we're just working on timing and getting in a rhythm together right now.
What are your expectations for this year, or your goals for you personally? Not just the team, but for you personally. What's your goal?
Well, personally is to do my job for the team, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think the ultimate goal for any kicker you ask, win the Lou Groza.
You bet. And we've had that happen here, so it's possible.
I got one more shot at it, so that's the ultimate goal, I'd say, for sure.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I can't believe that you're going into your senior year. That is crazy to me. I was going to ask you about kind of the wear and tear, especially since you've had some hip problems. Coach Gundy was quoted a little bit ago when he was doing his media press conference that ideally he'd like to have two guys. He'd like to have you doing the field goal kicking, worrying about getting it through the upright, and he'd like to have somebody be able to kick it off. And you said you're fine with that because you'd really like to preserve yourself, but if you need to do it, you're ready to do it. Just talk about that a little bit.
Right. I think what Gundy said is pretty much spot on, especially because the time frame of me trying to get healthy has been shorter than it was the last time. So I think it's smart that as of right now, we're mainly working two other guys on kickoff, and I'll start working on it as I feel ready to, especially because it's very hard on the leg to do kickoff and field goal. So for fall camp, the main focus for me has been get back into a rhythm with field goal, work with the snap and holder, focus on that, and let the other guys work on kickoff. And I think I'll get thrown into the rotation once we get into season, just see how it goes.
What's your highlight been so far as a Cowboy kicker here at Oklahoma State? Now, I'm going to bring up one, and it may be the one, but you tell me. How did it feel a couple years ago putting it through the uprights to beat OU on a kind of a down season for the Cowboys, but boy, that got you bowl eligible. That was a huge upset, and it was a huge celebration in Stillwater that night. So is that your highlight, biggest highlight, or you tell me?
I think that could be that or Texas. It's hard for me.
Yeah.
Hard for me to pick one. I think Texas was more of a difficult situation. Against OU, our offense did all the work for me. And
you're right there. Extra point, basically.
They put it right in the middle from 20 yards away. So.
Well, it's got to be a great feeling when you hit the game winner and your team gets to celebrate. So let's do it several times more this season, or let's blow them out and then just do it a couple of times. Yeah, exactly. But we wish you all the luck.
Yes,
You've done a great job here as our kicker, and enjoy your senior year. Soak it up, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's Cowboy senior kicker Ben Grogan. We're going to send you to check out the offensive returners, a little video snippet. We'll come back with more Cowboy football interviews right after this.
He's back to pass. He steps up, floats it toward the center of the end zone. The pass is caught by Marcel Aitman.
Rennie Childs, second effort, reaches for the goal line. He's in.
Walsh with a jet flip to McCleskey, trying to turn the corner near side, and he scoots into the end zone.
On first down, the handoff again to Carson. Carson breaks free. Touchdown.
Rudolph throws a screen out to Carr, right sideline, jet for the 5, diving toward the end zone. Did he get in? He did! Pistols firing! Touchdown, Oklahoma State!
Play action, into the end zone, it's there! That's a touchdown! Blake Jarwin got loose!
It's a snap, back to pass, goes toward the far corner of the end zone. The pass is caught by Jalen McCleskey. And it's a flea flicker, deep down the middle, has a man open, and a diving catch is made!
Rudolph thrown to the end zone. Aitman going up top and ripping it away from Armstead for a touchdown. Down the sideline, Washington. James Washington again.
Fires it deep down the far side toward the end zone. The pass is caught! Pistols firing!
Welcome back to Cowboy Football Media Days. We're going to talk a little bit about the defense, because this could really be one of the sides of the ball that people are impressed with and maybe a little bit surprised by, because when you lose guys like Emmanuel Ogbah and Jimmy Bean and so many others, you go, well, are we going to slip back a little bit? I don't think this Cowboy defense thinks that's going to happen. So we've got Trey Flowers. He's going into his third year as a starter, and we were talking just before we came on the air, you and I and Kevin Clintworth, that you said when you came in you weighed
170,
and you're up to
198.
So I guess we call that body by glass. And I mean, we've got a great strength and conditioning group. And just talk a little bit about the difference they've made in your body and your abilities while you've been here the last 4 years.
I feel like they maximize everything that you got. You know, it's just you go to work every day and you get something out of it, and it feels good.
Absolutely. So you're going into your junior season, and let's talk a little bit about what happened to you and your family last year. You're right before the Baylor game. Your dad, or was it right after? It was right around the Baylor game.
Right, Friday before.
That your dad Rodney was in a serious motorcycle accident, and tell us how he's doing and what all he's been through.
He's doing real good now. He's actually here at Media Day right now.
That's great.
He's walking around in his own strength, but he's probably had maybe over 30 surgeries.
Wow.
You know, he shattered his pelvis, broke his leg, broke his shoulder. he's recovering now, so that's all that really matters. I don't look back on it.
Did you use that as inspiration to play for him last year, or was it difficult for you for a little while to try to focus on that, knowing he was going through what he was going through last year? Just tell us what you went through.
I say both. You know, I played for my family, of course, and it was real difficult. You know, my parents always come to my games, and you know, not seeing them at the walk and knowing they're not there, it was real emotional. But you know, I got through it, and I give glory to God.
Yeah, is there anything you've kind of learned from this, seeing your dad persevere?
Oh yeah, just be resilient. You know, I can bounce back from anything. I feel like now it's nothing that can harm me.
Talk about the Cowboy defense. First of all, I'll ask you about Glenn Spencer. You know, it's so good to keep your coaching staff intact, to keep that consistency. It's got to be good for all of you players, but also for the scheming. Just talk about playing for Glenn Spencer and kind of his philosophy.
Coach Spencer's philosophy is all about love. You know, he's taught us to love each other on and off the field. You know, not just because of what they can do on the field, but I feel like it carries over. You know, it's probably one of the closest defenses I've ever been around. You know, we all talk, we all sit together and laugh, and it feels like a friendship. I know it's gonna pay off on the field.
Absolutely. You're all there for each other, have each other's backs. So talk about what you think the strength of this year's defense is going to be.
I mean, me playing at the safety spot, I feel like our safeties are the best in the nation. And
of course.
That's the motto we go on the field with, and now I feel like the team will rally around us.
What about the depth at safety? Talk about your cohorts and how you guys look at the safety position.
I feel like any of the safeties, and not saying a backup or not, I feel like they can go anywhere and play right now. You know, Derek Moncrief, he came from Auburn, and Jarrell, and Magruder's just a young guy. So, I mean, I feel like we're great.
How about the guys on the sides of you, the guys at the corners? Ashton Lampkin finally healthy, I hear. Talk about our corners.
Ashton and Ramon and Darius Curry, they all work out. We all work out together, and this is the hardest I've ever seen them work. I just can't wait to see them play.
I mentioned Emmanuel Ogba, who's now with the Cleveland Browns, and of course Jimmy Beam. Talk about great bookends. But talk about this defensive line now. I mean, I think we've got good ends, but it's almost like you're finally looking at Oklahoma State and saying, man, look at our defensive tackles. Wouldn't you say? I mean, there's some depth there as well.
Yeah, I've been watching Vincent play since we were in middle school, and you know, just seeing him at the college level keep getting better and growing, it's great. And watching Mote get better every day, Eric Davis, and everybody else, our D-line is phenomenal, and our whole defense, I feel like we're just going to be fast.
The only position I really haven't talked about, how about the linebackers? How about the depth there?
Linebackers, they have a certain amount of swag. You know, they feel like the team rallies around them, but, you know, Chad.
We want them to think that, even though we know it's safeties,
of course,
right?
You know, yeah, but Chad is real vocal, and Devontae Everett, I call him Detroit, he's from Detroit, but I feel like he's a hard-hitting linebacker, and Jordan Burton, me and him are on the field side, so we know how it is to be out there. So I think the linebackers are great, too.
Every day you get to go against the Cowboy offense. What do you see out of the Cowboy offense that excites you? I know in practice they don't excite you, but when you're going to the game, you're going to be glad they can do the things they do. What's the strength of this Cowboy offense?
Just how versatile they are. You know, Chris Carson can catch, Rennie can catch, and Jalen can catch, get the ball out the backfield. You never know what's going to happen. Jarwin can catch. Anybody can get the ball at any time and be real explosive, and I feel like our offense is real explosive.
Coach Gundy, I don't know if you heard him when you guys came in. Somebody asked him about his hairdo, he kind of bragged, which he believes he's got the best hair on the team. What are your thoughts on the Gundy mullet?
My thoughts on Coach Gundy's mother is great. You know, I visualize a rock star, and that's what he is to me. So, you know, that I love it. Me personally.
Well, he'll never shave it now because Trey Flowers said he's a rock star. So here we go. We're going to have a full season of mullet, maybe beyond. But Trey Flowers, good luck your junior year. Make us proud out there. We know you will. You look great. And good luck to the Cowboys and the Cowboy defense. All right, that's Trey Flowers. We're going to be back and talk some more about this Cowboy football season and talk to some more of these players. Right now, we're going to have Coach Gundy give you a little schedule preview.
Well, game day in Stillwater has developed itself into big-time college football. We have about 35,000 people that tailgate in Stillwater now in our home games, and there's a ton of excitement right now. Games last year. Got your quarterback back, a lot of skill players back, got a defense back other than the first-round pick and a couple other guys. So there's a tremendous amount of excitement. With the 3 home games in September, I think that's a really big hit. So we're looking forward to selling everything that we have, getting our players in here, having a great summer, and keeping the momentum moving forward.
Starting next season, you guys open up here at home. What's the advantage of that?
Well, it's nice to open at home. We haven't been home very much in the last 10 years, and I know our fans will be excited about playing 3 games home in September. Everybody's excited about college football, so you want to have home games so your crowd can come out and support the team.
Week 3 features Pittsburgh Power 5 conference matchup. How important is it to have that game on the schedule?
Well, we need to get better in week 1 and week 2. Central Michigan will be ready to play when they show up. They're a good team. Their quarterback's back, and he's a really good player. I think he's a future NFL player. But when you get to Pittsburgh, we need to be up and running because they're going to play great defense. They're going to try to run the football, and hopefully we'll have a sea of orange, and our team will play very well that Saturday.
You guys go to Baylor, you play Texas home, and then you finish up at TCU and at OU. What are your thoughts on that slate?
Well, it's going to be a very difficult schedule. There's no question that with the coaches that are in this league, the quarterback play that's turned back into this league, we went a couple years where wasn't many people talking about our quarterbacks. But we went a long time before that when that's all they talked about. I think we're back in that now, a number of quarterbacks that are going to potentially play at the next level. So each week will be difficult.
How important is it having a big-time quarterback right now in a league that has Baker Mayfield and Seth Russell and Patrick Mahomes?
No question. You have to be able to keep up, and we need to play good defense because defense ultimately is going to win championships, but you have to score in this league. You can have a good defense and play against some of these offenses in this league in an up-tempo. They may score 35 points. So it's a real challenge to come up with a good defense, but you still have to score in this league to win games.
Welcome back to Cowboy Football Media Days. We've got one of the big hosses on the offensive line, Victor Saleko. And Victor, we were talking to me, and I told you walked up here. I said, man, you look great. And you tell me you dropped 30 pounds. Tell me how you did it and why you did it.
How I did it, I was pretty much part-time vegetarian. Like I stopped eating carbs. I stopped eating fast foods. Just ate really clean. I count my calories.
Yeah.
So you don't see many guys doing it, but I counted my calories.
Not offensive linemen. You don't see counting calories normally unless they're just trying to add calories, right? So you're doing the reverse of that.
Yes, sir. And I'll just focus on a high-protein diet and low carbs pretty much, and it helped me out.
All right, and so the Cowboy coaching staff, they were okay. They were like, yeah, trim down a little bit. They would just want you a little quicker on your feet.
Yes, sir. Before in May, they were telling me that because, I had surgery and I gained a little weight because I wasn't able to train. So they were telling me I need to lose weight. I need to lose that weight plus more. So they're telling me to get around 330. But I remember telling some of my coaches, like, when I come back, you guys will be surprised. When I came back from the May break, I lost, I think, 18 or 19 pounds. And then when I came here, I lost like another 11, 12 pounds. So they were really surprised about that.
Well, you look great. Don't lose any more. We want you knocking people around, all right? Let's talk about your transition. We're fortunate to have you because of the misfortune of UAB when they just strangely dropped their football program. It had to be a huge shock to you, but talk about how you chose Oklahoma State and how the transition went for you last year.
How I chose Oklahoma State, I came on my visit, and I had Emmanuel Ogba as my host. And he was a great host. He showed me the campus. He showed me how the lifestyle is. And we had like a real heart-to-heart. He talked to me and like, what should I expect? And all the good things that I will be seeing when I get here. And then I hang out with the offensive linemen. I realized they're just like me. We joke a lot. We have the same type of humor.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could fit here greatly. And the people, when we went to a restaurant, this lady literally drove from Tennessee, because we just beat Oklahoma. She drove from Tennessee to get an authentic Oklahoma State T-shirt. That said that we beat OU. She didn't want to get it from online. She said she wanted to come to Stillwater and get it. So I was like, fans like that, I like that, and I want to be a part of that. So I was like, I'm going to Oklahoma State.
We've got great fans. So how did the transition go for you? First of all, I guess Emmanuel Ogba helps recruit you.
Yes,
then you got to go against him in practice every day. Do you feel like that made you a better player?
Oh, that made me a way better player. That's one of the reasons why I came. Right after that sign, I came early to practice with them in the bowl game. And I was like, I want to go against these guys because I want to get used to the speed. I don't want to come in spring and not know what I'm going to be expecting. So
right.
Me coming in early really helped me and helped me prepare for the season.
All right, talk about this offensive line. Last year, I think a lot of people felt like the O-line kind of struggled because we couldn't run the ball. I think there were a lot of different factors that caused that, but we were able to pass block. I heard Coach Gundy the other night, he told me at the Cowboy Caravan, he felt like we maybe had the best pass blocking O-line in the country. How are we going to remedy the run game this year? How do you feel about it?
I feel like we're going to do great things with the run game. We all, as an offensive line, we take a lot of things personal, but we really want to be great in running the ball. We want to be balanced. We don't want to just be a pass team. We want to be a running team as well. If we become a running team, it will make the pass game more easier. If you're doing good in the pass game, make the run game easier. So you just want to be balanced so you can be able to do both. Because we love pass blocking, but we want to run block too. We're big guys. We want to hit people. So yeah. We're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I know our fans will love hearing that. When we've been really good, we've been kind of 50-50 on that run game, pass game. So that's kind of a key for Cowboys' success. So let's talk about the running back stable. I hear nothing but good things about how, you've dropped some weight, but Chris Carson worked out, and he's gotten stronger, and I think he's a motivated guy. But talk about Carson. Talk about all the guys that are going to be running behind you guys.
We got a lot of talented running back. Chris Carson, Rennie Childs. We got Barry Sanders Jr. The list goes on and on. I can't wait to ball for these guys because I seen the way they trained this summer. Like they had an edge about them, and they want to do great things for Oklahoma State. You can tell that they really want to do it for the team. Like you can tell that it's team first with them. Like they want to run the ball hard for Oklahoma State. It's awesome.
I know it's really early. You've only had 4 or 5 practices, but what have you seen out of Barry J. Sanders?
Oh, I saw some quick moves. You know what I'm saying? Like he can move. He's a little shifty. It's fun to watch.
And he can catch it out of the backfield. How about Jeff Carr as well? How's he look?
Jeff Carr, that guy. When he first came in as a true freshman, that guy was, in my opinion, I call him a freak. I remember I took a picture of him and put it on my Snapchat. I was like, you guys better remember his name because I never seen anything like this. And I've seen a lot of great running backs, and I was like, this guy here is something special.
How about a freshman out of Booker T. Washington, Justice Hill?
So he's doing pretty good too. He's transitioning well. He's learning the offense, and he's going to be a great running back for Oklahoma State.
You go against this defensive line. Of course, we mentioned Agba and Jimmy Bean. We lost those bookends that were such keys to the Cowboy defense's success. But across the board, this defensive line you get to face off against every day in practice, maybe as deep as we've had in a long time. Would you agree with that?
Oh, they're really deep. You go against one for a couple series, you get a new one coming in fresh off the sideline. They're just as good. It's amazing.
So it's your senior year. Big expectations for this team?
My expectations to win the Big 12 every year. So that's always the expectation for me.
All right, one of the big guys in the middle, Victor Saleko. So glad you're at Oklahoma State. I'm also glad UAB is getting their football program back. And you mentioned to me you're glad for a whole bunch of your buddies that are still there, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Victor Saleko, transfer from UAB going into his second and final season. Hope it's a big one, Victor. We'll be back with more. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a different kind of football. We're going to talk soccer with the head coach of the Cowgirls soccer program, Colin Carmichael. So stick around. OSU Media Days coming right back. Let's talk a different kind of football because we are about to get started with Cowgirl Soccer as well. This is a program that Colin, you and Karen Hancock built together from the get-go, and you've got to take a lot of pride in that. I mean, we've had one of the top soccer programs in the country, and you guys built it from scratch.
We do. Karen and I talk about it all the time. You know, we came here, we had no facility. We had the intramural fields out at Willis.
Right.
That's where we played in practice.
I remember that.
They sloped like this. We had no bleachers, no restrooms, and to go from there to winning Big 12s and going to the Elite Eight, it really is special.
Yeah, it really is special. I remember that Elite Eight season, wasn't that the year that we lost to the eventual national champion, Notre Dame, right?
Notre Dame and then Stanford.
And then Stanford,
yes,
that's right. So you guys have done a great job. We talked a little bit before we came on that last year you probably had the toughest schedule in the country. I mean, it was like murderer's row. You just play, and maybe a young team, you said maybe needed to build a little more confidence?
Yeah, the last couple of years, you know, as our program improved, we made a commitment to making the schedule better. Mm-hmm. And we probably, in fairness to our team, the last 2 or 3 years, we probably overdid it. You know, we had a lot of really tough games. They're fun, they're exciting, but you know, when it comes down to the end of the year and you need a win to have a chance to get into the tournament, it makes it tough. So we've changed a little bit. This year's schedule's really good, but there's a couple more games in there where maybe we can get some minutes for some of the reserve players and boost confidence and things like that.
I know that you've got to be excited because you talked about playing on the intramural fields, and now you've got a great field. But there's plans, and we've made this commitment that we're gonna build a stadium, get you the locker rooms you need, all the things that this program deserves and needs. I know that the bids came in a little higher than we thought, so we're having to scramble and figure some things out, but you've got to be excited about what's on the horizon for your program.
Yeah, we are. You know, Coach Holder said all the time that, you know, he realizes that the support we've had in facilities hasn't really been where it should be.
Right.
And, you know, that's probably the next piece of the last piece of the puzzle for us. You know, we got a great university, great staff, good people, and a great team. And we've got now we have a good history and good tradition. And I think once that facility's in place, we're going to be a great sell for a lot of these young ladies that are trying to decide where to go to school. So we're can't say how thankful we are that it's coming.
All right, and we got a lot of people that are stepping up to help make that happen. So we're all excited for you and your program. So tell our fans that are listening that might be thinking about getting tickets, tell them about this team and why they ought to come out and watch them.
Well, it's a great team. You know, we return a real good core of about 12 players who played significant minutes last year, and we've added about 10 to 12 new kids. And they're athletic, they're passionate, they're driven. You know, they give it their all. They're a good team. We're really excited. I think we'll be a little bit under the radar on on the national stage this year. But this team could make some noise. They're going to be an exciting team to watch.
Tell us a name of a returner that our fans need to watch, and give us a newcomer name that they need to watch out for as well.
Well, I think Courtney DK is the name. She's kind of the face of the program. You know, played for Nigeria.
Talked to her last year before all that happened, I believe.
Unbelievable player. So we expect great things from Courtney. And a second returner who maybe people don't know would be Haley Woodard, track star out of Norman, who over the spring has really developed. So those
I like
two,
them when we pluck them out of Norman.
Always a great thing to do. So those two could be very exciting up front together. And then newcomer, boy, we've got so many, but we have a junior college transfer named Kumba So. Great name, by the way.
Yes.
Kumba's from Switzerland initially, but she played up in New York for JUCO the last 2 years. She was a 2-time All-American. So with her experience, she could really make an impact in the Big 12.
Here, when we come back, I'm going to talk to one of your players, and she's a great story, Michaela Ongaro, and a walk-on. Tell her story.
So Michaela's from Wisconsin. She's got family ties here, family in Stillwater, people who went to Oklahoma State, relatives of hers. So she came down. We knew she was a good goalkeeper, but when she got here, we were like, wow, this kid's a lot better than good.
Yeah.
So midway through her freshman year, she earned a starting spot. We put her, needless to say, we put her on scholarship at that point. And,
that's good coaching there.
Yes. Obviously a great decision making on our part, but Michaela's just a wonderful young lady, is now a starting goalkeeper for us on a scholarship and just bleeds orange. Great kid.
All right, we'll look forward to talking to Michaela in just a moment. If you don't know Colin Carmichael, you got to get to know him. He's been here a long time, and he has built this program with Karen Hancock from the beginning, like I told you, and it's one of the programs you can really, as OSU fans, be very proud of. Congratulations on all of your success. Let's keep it up. Go get him this year. All right, that's Colin Carmichael. We're going to come back and talk to your starting goalie, walk on to starter. How about that? We'll talk to Michaela Ongaro right after this. Stick around.
We're really impressed with the intensity of the group. They look really fit. They look sharp. So, yeah, we just, day one, you're not looking for a whole lot of technique. You're just looking for the good mentality, and we got that today. Some of these new players really moving well. We look to be a little bigger, stronger, faster than we've been the last couple of years, so that's definitely a plus.
Day one is the best because everyone's so excited to be back, and you know, we've all been doing this for 8 weeks, 4 weeks, however long we've been here in the summer, just doing the running and pickup. So to finally get out here with the coaches and get it organized and just get to play for an hour and a half with everybody, you know, Shingar's on. It's so much fun, and the team looks great. We have a super high energy going into it, and it's really, really fun to be back.
Going into when we had like summer practices and stuff, we had pickup games and stuff like that, but they weren't as intense as this. But even though it was really hard, like it looked really good. Like I feel like this is the best team I've ever been a part of so far. And so like just going in the first day, like we've been out here for like an hour and a half, but going in 2 days and like having recovery sessions and like just being with each other all the time and like getting advice from the older girls and stuff, because they've all been through it. So just like hearing things from them and like getting advice from them, I think it'll help a lot.
You know, we're going into 10 super hard days of physical activity, but the hardest thing is mentally. You know, we've been out of this. We haven't played a game that really, really counted in 9 months. So to get from there to playing A&M, one of the best teams in the country, in 10 days is tough. But this, you know, we play a lot the first few days and get a lot of the rust out, and then we'll start to talk the tactics. And once you start to do that, then it kind of falls back into place. You know, it's the same game we've played. It's just a little bit of rust we got to shake off. But I'm confident we'll do well.
I mean, obviously it's not as much time as you'd like to prepare, but A&M's, you know, top 10 team. They coming off an Elite 8 and a Final 4 appearance in the last 2 years. Played them this spring, had a great game in College Station. So it's a wonderful test for us. It'll definitely tell us where we are going into the season and what we need to work on. So we're excited. We can't wait. August 13th, I believe, and 7 p.m. and it's at home. So hopefully we'll get a big turnout and should be a great day for soccer.
We welcome you back to OSU Football Media Days. It's a different kind of football. We're talking soccer, and we've got a great story here. We just talked to Colin Carmichael about you, Michaela, and it's Michaela Ongaro, and a great story because you had ties to Oklahoma State even though you lived in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
And so you had reasons to want to come here. Your grandmother was a swimmer.
Yeah, my grandma was a swimmer, was really involved in the Colvin Recreational Center and the build-up of that, and my aunt still teaches here. A lot of my family has gone and graduated from here, so I had a bunch of ties. We would come every summer and visit, and I came to camp one summer that kind of coincided with the visit, coming to see my grandma, and after the first session, Colin said he was interested, and then it kind of snowballed from there, but it was kind of a right place, right time. Couldn't say no to Stillwater kind of thing.
Well, that's awesome. And now you've already graduated. So tell everybody what degree you got, and now you're working on your MBA, right?
Yeah, so I got my undergraduate in finance, and I tore my ACL my sophomore year, and I was had come in with a bunch of AP credits, so I figured if I sped up my degree a little bit, took some summer school classes and whatnot, I was able to graduate in 3 years, and since I had the 5th year of scholarship, now I can get my MBA basically paid for, which is nice. But yeah, I took summer school classes, got my undergrad in finance. Now I'm about to start pursuing my MBA in a few weeks.
So you came here because you had ties to Oklahoma State, but you came on as a walk-on.
Yes, sir.
Did you just have the confidence to say, if they'll give me a chance, I'm going to earn a scholarship? Or did you just say, I don't care, I want to be a part of this? What was your mindset?
Yeah, honestly, I just came to be a part of it. You know, I didn't come in thinking, well, if I play, I'll get a scholarship. Of course, I came in wanting to play and I wanted to be competitive. But I visited some other schools. I had some scholarship offers from some other great schools up north and in the Midwest, and I just came to Stillwater and I knew this is where I wanted to be, and I had family here and it just felt like a second home. So, you know, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd start playing freshman year. I hoped maybe junior year after Rosa Medina, the other goalie, had left. But it all worked out great, and they put me on scholarship right after that first fall and have treated me right since. And it really was a kind of Cinderella story type thing. I didn't plan for any of it, and I was just happy to be here and be a part of the team.
Well, you and I have a little bit in common. We love Stillwater. We fell in love with it. We wanted to be a part of it. I've been here a little longer than you, but the things we don't have in common is she's a great athlete and working on her MBA, and I'm neither one of those things. But
I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad to be a part of this. It's a great town to live in and a great university to be a part of.
Absolutely.
So, but you come in from walk-on to starting goalie. Talk about this team this year. Tell our fans why they need to get their tickets and come out and support this team. You've got to be excited about the talent.
Oh, this team is so exciting. You know, we kind of are in a rebuilding year, if you will, but it doesn't feel like that. We graduated a ton of really talented seniors, a class that has set a tone for a long time, and you know, we get a bunch of freshmen, and it's just so high energy. We're super talented, and we're really filling gaps that have been on our team for a few years. You know, we have people stepping up already into spots that have been needed some improvement or whatever it is, and I think that all these girls are just really ready to get after it, and we've worked all summer and in the spring as well, kind of rebuilding the team culture and making it a place where it was okay to work hard and it was okay to be the best and put in more work. And I think that we've accomplished that, and it's showed all throughout the summer, and these first few days of preseason have been honestly the best days of preseason that I've had since I've been here, and it's been really fun to see everybody working extremely hard. And we have the talent to back it up as well. So it's nice to have those two and be able to put them together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell everybody, game one is?
Game one is we have an exhibition, Texas A&M, on the 13th, next Saturday, and then we open ORU the next week and home opener.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, and
Thank
best
you
of
so
luck
much.
this year. A great OSU story, Michaela Ongaro, from walk-on to starting goalie. Come out and support the Cowgirl soccer team. Get your season tickets now. I want to tell you, get your season tickets for Cowboy football. I know that our marketing folks have a special deal going, buy 3, get 1 free. I think that's West End Zone type tickets. So give them a call on Monday and get locked and loaded for Cowboy football as well as Cowgirl soccer. So a lot of great things going on. Summertime's over. It's time for OSU athletics once again. We're coming off one of the greatest years we've ever had this last season, and finishing 13th in the Learfield Cup, and we look for great things out of all of our squads this year, so we want you to be a part of all of it. On a personal note, I've just got to say this has been a tough day for me as a dad, because my daughter, who grew up going to Gallagher-Ibarina, I always tell people her first 2 words were Gallagher and Iba. I had to move her into the dorms. She went off to college. Luckily, she's 4 minutes away from me, but still a tough day for old dad, and I want to wish my daughter Lauren all the luck with college, and I'm glad she's following us at Oklahoma State. She's going to have a great time, and I always tell all the kids out there to take your time, stretch it out. College is the best time of your life. With my daughter, I'm saying hurry up, finish it up, because it does get expensive. But hey, that's a different story. But I want her to have all the fun that she can have, and I know she'll do great going through Rush this weekend. So good luck to all the ladies going through Rush. So thanks to all of you for watching today on OKState.com, and thank you for loving Oklahoma State, wearing your orange, and being so proud of the Cowboys and the Cowgirls. We appreciate you watching OSU football and soccer media days, and we look forward to seeing you here in Stillwater coming up real quickly. Have a good day, everybody.
Glad you're with us. It's a wonderfully festive atmosphere here in Stillwater today.
Here comes Bullet. Ladies and gentlemen, your Oklahoma State University Cowboys.